Hand coordination. Why does it feel so hard? Why is it that your hands work together just fine when you're making a cup of coffee or tying your shoelaces, but the moment you sit at the piano and try to get them to play together, they act like two awkward strangers on a blind date? Yeah, the problem isn't that you don't have good hand coordination. It's that you haven't learned hand coordination skills specifically for the piano. So how do you do that? Well, it's not going to happen magically if you just keep practicing. You actually need a strategy for developing your hands together skills at the piano. And because I'm your best piano playing friend, I'm going to tell you the truth about this. One video or one exercise isn't going to make you a whiz at playing the piano or at solving your hands together issues. Think of it as a puzzle with several pieces that you get to put together before you see the full picture. I've already posted a few videos on the other puzzle pieces for playing hands together, which you'll find linked below. In this video, I'll explain how hand coordination works, why you're having trouble, and I'll show you a system of simple but highly effective exercises that I created, especially for adult pianists who want to get the best results in the shortest time. If this is what you're looking for, then keep watching. You might think that the problem is in your hands because, well, that's the part that you can see. But let's dig a little deeper. The real source of your hands together issues is your brain. Quick science break. Don't panic. We're going to keep this fun. The part of your brain called the motor cortex is the boss that tells your muscles how to move. But it doesn't do well if it has to micromanage every aspect of a movement. The motor cortex is super effective at grouping information together and then giving one command to achieve a particular set of movements or a gesture. Imagine if you tried to walk by telling each leg individually how to pick up its weight off the ground, shift the balance of your body forward, put down the heel, then roll onto the ball of the foot, and then when that motion is done, you then switch and give the same set of instructions to the other foot. How smoothly or how quickly could you actually walk? Not very, right? Early in your life, you really did have to do that kind of thinking in order to learn to walk. But at some point, you had to just let the process happen without consciously thinking about every motion and sensation involved in walking. And when you were first learning to walk, you didn't attempt it a couple of times, then immediately try to go for a run. No. You walked and walked and walked until it felt easy. Why? Because without repetition, you don't have a skill. So remember, the motor cortex is the boss that sends the information to the muscles. But then we have another part of the brain, the cerebellum, whose job is to basically keep track of how well the muscles followed those instructions and then adjust as necessary. The cerebellum needs lots and lots of repetition to learn a skill and then store it as a reflex, kind of like an automatic movement. So after you've learned to walk, the motor cortex says to your body, walk. And because the cerebellum has already filed away that particular skill, your body walks without you having to do anything more than tell it what direction to go in and how fast. Now, obviously, this is a highly simplified explanation, but it does help us to understand why accomplished pianists can tell their fingers to play a certain thing, and then the fingers play that thing, including the coordination of the hands. Unfortunately, many adults want their brains to automatically coordinate their two-handed piano playing without first going through this process with the natural functions of the motor cortex and the cerebellum. So how do we train for piano hand coordination? It's simple. This is the part where you might feel a little impatient. But I can assure you, after having been a professional pianist for most of my life and teaching thousands of people to play the piano, this works. We're going to use the same process that we humans naturally follow for learning any movement. We go from big to small. Here's what I mean. When we learn a motor skill, we first make large movements because we are developing gross motor skills.
Hey.
Picture a child learning to write using their whole arm to make a big, simple shape on a piece of paper. Over time, they refine these movements, developing fine motor control in their arms, hands, and fingers. They learn to hold a pencil correctly, control the pressure and the direction of that pencil, and eventually they form letters and words with more precision and more dexterity. Now, contrast this with adults picking up a piano book and diving straight into the fine motor movements, the finger and hand coordination, without any sort of foundation in this particular skill. The good news is that as an adult, you already know how to control your smaller muscles. You already have the mind-body connection for fine motor skills. But you still can't skip the part where you teach your brain how to coordinate these motor skills for the piano. And the reason hands together feels so hard for you is because your motor cortex hasn't yet created those chunks of information to give one command that sets off a series of movements. It's still trying to flip back and forth. Right hand, left hand, oops, wait, right hand, no, wait, too late. Chaos ensues and you get coordination meltdown. Then you decide that piano is too hard, or you're too old, or you don't have talent. So let's start by teaching your brain big motor movements that are chunked together. And this is the part you can do anywhere. In your car, waiting for a red light, at your kitchen counter, while the water boils for your tea. Literally anywhere you have your hands free and you can focus on what you're doing. Now, there's a good reason for doing these first exercises away from the piano. We are removing the distraction of what note to play and what finger to use. And instead, we're isolating just the coordination between the hands. It's important to remember that the easier exercises that we're doing here set the groundwork for everything that comes after. And you should practice each exercise for several days before moving on to the next one. Remember the cerebellum and its insatiable need for repetition? Yeah, you want to take advantage of that amazing tool in your brain to supercharge your learning. Here's our first exercise. Yes, it's easy, and no, you shouldn't skip it. We're going to tap both hands at the same time. I'm going to do it here on my keyboard so that you can see. So I just tap both hands together, literally. Why don't you join me wherever you are, on your lap or on your desk? I don't know where you're watching from. Just tap both hands at the same time. Okay. Did you notice that after the first couple of taps, your motion became automatic? You just told your hands, tap together, and then they kept going. Now we're going to level up. Here's our new pattern. Left hand taps once, the right hand taps twice. So it's together, right. That's a chunk of information. And if you say the pattern out loud, you'll learn it even faster. Here's how it goes. Together, right. Together, right. Okay, let's do it together. We'll go kind of slow. Ready, start. Say it. Together, right. Together, right. Together, right. Together, right. That was a bit trickier, right? Well, what if you made a mistake? Well, then you should just give up on piano right now. Just kidding. When you make a mistake, you pause, you think the pattern, together, right, and then you start again. It might be that you're trying to tap too fast and you're not giving your mind and your body a chance to communicate properly. Fortunately, this is a YouTube video and you can pause or scroll back anytime to do this exercise again. Now we're going to reverse the roles. Right hand taps once, left hand taps twice. Together, left, together, left. That's the chunk of information. Here's how it goes. Together, left, together, left. All right, let's do it together. Ready, go. Together, left. Say it out loud. Together, left, together, left, together, left. All right, once you've got that, you're ready to level up again. This pattern is together, left, right. I'll show you. Together, left, right. Together, left, right. Ready? Let's do it together. Here we go. Together, say it out loud. Left, right. Together, left, right. Together, left, right. Together, left, right. Remember, you can do these anywhere. You don't have to sit and do them with me. All right, what if we reverse the roles? So it's together, right, left instead. Watch. Together, right, left. Together, right, left. You ready to do it with me? Here we go. Together, right, left. Together, right, left. Are you saying it? Together, right, left. Together, right, left. Okay, so that is the gross motor skills part. Once your arms know how to stay in sync, it's time to zoom in and pass that big muscle plan down to your fine motor control, your fingers at the piano. We'll talk about that next. Okay, we're going to do the same exercises we did in the last part, but this time we'll choose one finger in each hand and one note in each hand at the piano. So just to keep things simple, we're going to take the right hand C, I'll do it up here, and left hand C down here. Okay, so remember our first pattern, together, together. All right, you ready? Here we go. Together, together. Just keep doing it. You probably think this is pretty easy, and that's good. You want to start easy. Okay? So practice that as long as you need to. Okay, let's practice exercise 2. Left hand plays once, right hand plays twice. So together, right, together, right. Are you ready? We're going to use the same exact fingers, same exact notes. Here we go. Together, right, together, right. Okay, ready? Let's play. Together, right. Together, right. Together, right. Together, right. Notice when I'm playing the right, I'm letting go of the left hand. Together, right. Left hand's coming up because I want it to be ready to play again. All right, you're going to practice that. Then you can reverse the hands. So it's together, left, together, left. Let's do it together. Find your C's. Ready? Here we go. Together, left. The right hand comes up. Together, left. Together. Make sure you're lifting the right hand here. Together, left. So already you're needing to think about a few things at the same time. Lifting both, playing them both, lifting the left hand while holding the right hand, and then when you play the left, the right hand goes up. Guess what? This is hand coordination. Now, if you're ready, we're going to move on to the next exercise. Together, left, right, together, left, right. Okay, so I'm going to show you one time and tell you when I'm lifting what. So I lift both at the same time and drop them both at the same time. Now, I'm going to lift the left hand, play it. As I play, I lift the right, and then I play the right and lift the left. Woo! Okay, so it goes together, left, right. Together, left, right. Join me. Together, left, right. Together, left, right. Okay, practice that. You can also reverse it. Together, right, left. I won't talk it through as much this time because now you understand, hopefully. It's together, right, left. Together, right, left. You may need to do it much slower than what I'm doing now. The important thing is to understand the pattern, not to copy me, but to give your mind a chance to group this information together, right, left. That's one piece of information, okay? That's your motor cortex. Now, when these exercises feel like movements you don't really need to think about, you can go on to the next step. We're going to add motion at the piano, like this. We'll use the first 5 notes of the C major scale, like that, and we're going to do the same exact exercises. So first we had hands playing at the same time, like this. Together, together, together. You see they're both playing at the same time. Notice I'm also using my wrists because your wrists help your fingers be stronger. Okay, so that's the together, 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 together pattern. What about the together, right? Together, right. Looks like this. Together, right. Together, right. Together, right. Together, right. Together, right. Then go back down. Together, right. Lots of coordination happening here. If you reverse it, it's together left. I'll do just a little bit of it for you because I think you understand the concept now. It's together, left, together, left, and so on. Okay, now when that gets pretty automatic for you, like you don't have to struggle with it, you can move on to the next exercise, which is together, left, right. It looks like this. Together, left, right. Together, left, right. So we're just playing the same notes. Together, now we're taking turns. Left, right, and so on. And then you can reverse it. Together, right, left. I'll do it going down from here. So I'm going to start with the G. Together, right, left. Together, right, left, and so on. Okay, well, what if this feels too easy for you right now, or maybe at some point in the future, you've practiced it and you're ready for more? Well, you're in luck because I've created a PDF of daily hand coordination exercises that go beyond these basics, and you can get it for free at the link below. Remember when I said that you needed repetition for several days to automate these skills? Well, there's a specific way to do these repetitions for the best results in the shortest time. And you'll learn those secrets in this video here. Keep practicing, have fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye.